So this was our last ride in the arena at our old place before Rudnik was moved to his new place about a week and a half ago. This is pretty much what most of our arena workouts look like now. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing too exciting, but it is a lot of work for both Rudnik and I because most of the work we're doing right now is at a trot pace. A little backstory in case we have new people here or you just didn't know it. I've had Rudnik since he was 11 months old, which means aside from a few instances where I did need some help from a close friend of mine, all of his training has been done by myself. I didn't fully start Rudnik under saddle until he was 4 years old. I didn't want to start him too early and risk causing injury to his joints. And just because of the history that we had, I wanted to make sure that our relationship was solid on the ground before we tried to take it into the saddle. So with our riding now, we've come a long way in the last couple of years, but there's a lot of little things that we're still working on. And most of our riding is just going to be trails and stuff like that. But while I'm pregnant, we can't really do anything crazy. I was hoping to start going into some jumping just for fun in the arena. But while I can't be doing that right now, we're just working on fine-tuning all of the little things at a walk, trot, into canter. Right now, the biggest thing is Rudnik struggles at keeping his pace. I don't know if it's more of a Rudnik struggles to do it or I'm struggling to do it now that I find my energy is depleting a bit more, but that's been our biggest focus with our arena training in the last couple of months. So trying to get him to hold his trot through turns, corners, maintaining it for more than just half a lap or a lap, getting him to just continue with it until I give him the instruction to stop. Those have all been little things we've been working on. And even though we've got some big accomplishments, like his trot to canter transition is an absolute dream to ride, we're getting all of our leads figured out, I want to make sure we have all of this little stuff fine-tuned so that by the time we have a little one ready to ride, Rudnik pretty much knows as much as there is to know. So a good friend of mine gave me the suggestion of doing a bunch of little circles through the arena, and what this really helps with is keeping him focused and moving throughout the entire arena. What this also helps is it gets me more in control of my posting, changing with the correct leads, and being on the right diagonal. Not to mention, while pregnant, of course, we're not doing anything crazy, but this has been an absolute thigh burner for me the last couple of months. And I swear this trotting around in circles and just making sure I'm on the right leads has been more of a workout than just running around any day. Usually by the end of a 20-minute session, Rudnik and I are both sweating pretty good. But while we're riding, you can see the way he's flicking his ears back and forth, so he's listening to me, my verbal cues, my leg cues, as well as paying attention to everything that's going on around him. A couple of times the younger horses went running past the arena, and of course he got distracted and started to get a little bit antsy. He was feeling a little left out, but he did focus again pretty quickly after that. And as you can see, when he's got both of his ears turned back, he's paying very good attention to what it is that I'm asking him to do. And we are actually making really good progress in getting him to continue holding that trot for the duration that I'm asking him to. And because we do ride bitless, I'm not pulling excessively on his mouth. I don't have to worry that I'm putting excess force on his jaw or anything like that. We've been bitless for about a year and a half now. We actually switched from a bit to bitless shortly after we first started our riding journey together.
A little dramatic.
And I honestly find such a dramatic improvement in the way that he responds and listens to me when we are bitless. Of course, it's not going to be for everyone. There are some horses, I had horses growing up that bitless was not an option. They were just too strong-headed and too ready to go to be able to go bitless. But with Rudnik, I'm really glad that we were able to make that switch. I do swear that this horse has a touch of ADHD the same way I do. He takes after me very much whenever we're in the arena. If anything catches his interest, he's completely thrown off track and becomes really distracted by the smallest little things. So I do tell him quite often to stop getting ADHD distracted on me. But as someone who has ADHD myself, I totally understand where he's coming from. But yeah, not all of our workouts are super exciting. They're not thrilling. We're not flying over some big jumps. We're not doing any crazy transitions or going at any real crazy speeds. But the little stuff that we're working on, I find, has helped make huge improvements in just our day-to-day riding. And all this little stuff, even though it's at a slower pace, it's been a perfect project for me while I'm pregnant and not able to do all the exciting stuff I want to do. And like I said, because I've done about 95% of Rudniks training from the time that I got him at 11 months old to now, him being 6 years old, I know that there's nothing that was done to him in that time that would cause any trauma or fear around any specific training methods. Our approach to training is very as natural as it can be. I do not use a fear-based approach because I want Rudnik to enjoy what we're doing and have fun. And this is supposed to be fun for both of us. So if I'm having to fight him the entire time because I'm trying to force him to do something he doesn't want to do, and he's having to fight against me because he doesn't like my methods, then it's just no fun for either of us, and it's going to create a more difficult relationship in the saddle.
Good boy.
I also don't keep our training sessions very long. Sometimes we only do 10 minutes, sometimes we do 30 minutes. But as long as we end our sessions on a good note, I'm always happy. I don't always know what we're going to tackle once we start riding either. I usually start with the basics of we're going to trot some circles. And then if there's anything that pops up in that time that I see or feel needs to be worked on a little bit better, we'll start to focus on that. So if I find that he's not holding his trot for as long as I want him to, the new goal becomes, okay, we're going to do this many laps with a trot. I'm going to get you. You're going to continue trotting until I ask you to stop. Once you've trotted a couple times and proceed to continue until I ask you to stop, we end the session there. It always ends on a good note. It always ends with him doing what I'm asking so that when our next session starts, we start off better than ever.